Okay, so let's get to the point where we need to get to, because there are definitely a description of an overweight man and he's much bigger. So that was one of the things I know for a fact when they do a description of who these men and women are and what kind of relationship. I know this man is overweight and I'm not sure what size he is. I would say he's approximately 300 pounds. So, some other things that are going on with girls who are interacting with anyone. I don't know if this was a past issue or this is recent. I just know that basically this was one of the issues with an overweight, heavy-set man. Anytime a man approaches a woman, and this happened to me, my foster mom was with a man, and she was with several boyfriends at one point. And why it is that they're having issues is because there was things going on. There was a lot of loud banging. I was sleeping on the couch at the time, and my foster mom was dating a lot of different men at the time. So one of the issues that comes up for me personally is that when a man is in the house or men are in the house and they're acting out like that, and there's girls, there's other people in the house other than those two, they're banging on the other side of the wall. And that's literally what was going on, because I lived in college. I see what goes on. There's a lot of things that are going on. And when the girls are going to talk about what's going on as well, in a marriage, it's one thing. If there's dating, if they're serious, or all that stuff, that's one thing. But one of the other issues that came up for me, especially because some of us do go to high school and college, or went to high school or college, or are going to high school and college, or in junior high, wherever you're at on these issues, we need to talk. That's really the bottom line. One of the issues that came up for me, especially, is the punching and the biting and hitting. When I was leaving my marriage at the time, I had left Pittsburgh because there was a lot of hitting and smacking at that time. And I left because my ex-husband would act out several times, and it wasn't because of anything he did. It's just when he started acting out, it got to the point I could not deal with the acting out because of what he was going through with his own family. At the time, he had started opening up about sexual abuse, and I did not know what to do to help him. So I did contact some people that would help him. One of the issues that came up for me, especially as my ex-husband was coming out with sexual abuse of his own, is that he started acting out to the point where I couldn't help him anymore. He needed the right kind of help, so he went to another program. And the issues that came up with domestic violence is the violent raging, the acting out, the arguing, the fighting. And usually if it gets to that point, it's time to contact somebody at Teen Challenge and get into counseling and therapy. These obviously, when there's children or anyone that's been a child sexual abuse survivor, things will come up. We've had several night terrors since we were younger, so I know and I understand that there are people that sometimes when these issues start to surface, it's obvious that there's more going on than just sexual abuse. SRAs, sexual abuse, survivor issues, these things do come up from time to time. So that being said, there's some people that we had some problems with that were acting out with us that need to stop acting out. They need to get into whatever kind of counseling and therapy they need to get into. But one of the issues that is surfacing is the child offender issues, because when we've been victims of sex offenders in the past, this is no longer my issue. It's an issue with law enforcement. It is not an issue I'm going to deal with. I told my ex-husband at the time I will not deal with his offender. And he seemed to forget something important. When you have offenders that have offender issues, they have corrections and they have other organizations that help people with those type of problems. One of the issues that kept coming up with me, and still comes up from time to time, is dealing with someone who has sex offender issues. Sex offenders have sex offender issues, and that's a separate matter. But it's not my matter to take up with, and I'm going to forward this to law enforcement because there are several issues that are coming up with sex offenders. And because there are so many sex offenders in our region now, they're going to have to do something, and law enforcement's going to have to correct it, not us.